not on the spot to monitor and control the unit. Should it be necessary, either the operator at home or the bioconstruct service team can intervene in processes in the biogas plant. For example, the agitators can be switched on and off. The levels of the containers and the pits can be checked, or the solid supply equipment can be monitored. Information about malfunctions or an expensive standstill of the block heating and generating plant can be registered on Bioconstruct's service computer or on the operator's mobile phone. This guarantees a short reaction time when anything unexpected happens and a reliable service by the Bioconstruct Customer Support Office. Biogas plants produce high-quality fertilizer as well as electricity and heat. The nutrients contained in the substrates are retained and are more easily available to the plants, as the flow power of the liquid manure and its ammonia content have increased due to fermentation. The unpleasant smell of liquid manure and organic waste has disappeared as the organic acids have decomposed. A biogas plant is therefore useful for both you and your neighbours. Why don't you also profit by using the smart, environmental-friendly biogas technology in Bioconstruct's modern plants?
Yeah. So in that video, we had seen almost the same thing, but that video mode means how the source is getting out and then how they are feeding at the primary level, the collection of that cow dung. And they had the cow dung collection and then that cow dung mixed with the water and then going to the feed into the digester tank. So with the help of that, basically we had seen that primary tank for the slurry collection, then secondary tank, and out of secondary tank that slurry is going to the tanker, and that tanker with the support of the tractor that was going out where it can use. So such kind of things we can also plan. So it's depend, because in our country we are having a lot of big area. So rural areas are basically very much fruitful. They are very they are having source availability in their respected areas. So if we plan such kind of industry in their area, that would be very nice. Otherwise, we have to set up the plant in the industrial area. Then we have to be very much assured about the availability of the sources to run the project. And of course, the transportation cost will be also counted, because every time you have to collect the raw material from the rural areas to the plant, and then you have to produce the biogas. Both ways means you have advantage as well as disadvantage also. Okay, so that is basically the whole study about the biogas. So we had discussed about the biogas introduction, type of the biogas model. We had discussed about the BDTC role. We had discussed about the biogas applications, and then this is the biogas bottling, and how the biogas will be managed, and many industries are dealing in it right now. It's not a new thing to the Indians that this can be happened, ऐसा भी होता है, because we are doing this since many years, means with the support of the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. That program was going on since last many years, so we know that kind of development in the society through the biogas unit, but still for the particularly rural belt. need more and more awareness to inform them that there is a very fruitful possibility to your source convert into the fuel. So there all kind of problems can be solved with the help of biogas. Okay, so now I am coming to the next one topic, that is biofuel. So in section of the biomass lecture series, we had discussed about the biomass improved chulas, biomass gasification, updraft, downdraft, and then we moved to the biogas, introduction fundamentals, biochar, vermicomposting this, and then biogas units, uh, KVIC model, Deen Bandhu Janta model, and BDT center, then applications, then biogas bottling plant. Now we have to discuss about the biofuels. So any idea about the biofuels? I will go to Nikhil Mishra. Yes, Nikhil,
Yes, sir.
any idea about the biofuels?
सर एग्जैक्टली सर डेफिनेशन याद नहीं है मतलब
Okay, तो आपने बायोडीजल, एथेनॉल वगैरह सुना है?
तो सर यस सर यस सर यस सर यस सर और ये मतलब काफी सारे मतलब सर प्लांट्स भी हैं सर उनका भी हम यूज करके फ्यूल्स बना सकते हैं वो भी बायोफ्यूल के अंदर ही आता है
This is the same thing. Same thing is biofuel. Yes, correct. So can you go into detail? Means
सर डिटेल नहीं पता लेकिन सर रिसेंटली मैंने सर न्यूज में देखा था कि कुछ प्लांट्स ग्रो किए जा रहे हैं जिनके सीड का यूज करके हम फ्यूल बना सकते हैं
correct.
और जो यूज कर सकते हैं हम लोग मतलब ये एनर्जी प्रोडक्शन के लिए बस इतना ही आइडिया है सर ज्यादा डिटेल में आइडिया नहीं है
Is there any government policy?
सर आइडिया नहीं है सर
Government policy, just a minute, I have one printout. That means Government of India, means Ministry of Petroleum Natural Gas paper, this is basically. So that is related to the National Policy on Biofuels, 2018 basically. So in that, it mentioned that the policy categorized biofuel as basic biofuels, that is first generation. First generation is the bioethanol and biodiesel. And second generation is the ethanol, municipal solid waste to drop-in fuels. And third generation, 3Z, is basically biofuel, means bio-CNG, etc. to enable extension of the appropriate financial and fiscal incentive under each category. And government had a policy. This means as per national biofuel policy, 20% of India fuel demand should be come from the plants. Means, however, means our growth was not up to that much desirable. But you see, when we started such kind of projects, so at the beginning, a lot of projects sanctioned to the many scientists to develop such kind of biofuels. So at least 10 years is spent on that process. And once that methodology clear, this is the fuel, and by this processing we can get the biofuel. So what are the procedure to get the biofuel through this? And several industries also participated in it. So right now we are having, means almost up to the standard, and Indians are, means our companies, our plants are producing lot of biofuels right now. And we are using in our vehicles like that. Out of just next to the our main gate, there is a petrol that gasoline station, and that station was also selling the mixing of the 10% biofuel in that petrol, blending basically. And I used every time in my vehicle that kind of fuel. There is no issue at all. And however, in just opposite side, there is another petrol station, the petrol pump hai, that was not selling. So price difference was also there. So that ethanol mix price was little bit lower, and because I know there is no issue at all, so that's why I just uh, got the fuel from this particular station every time. Sometime the gasoline was not available, but whenever it was available, I just went to that place. Okay, so for that, cabinet approved, and the policy expand the scope of the raw material for ethanol production by allowing use of, you see that, allowing use of sugarcane juice, sugar containing material like the sugar beet, sweet sorghum, starch containing material like the corn, cassava, and damaged food grains like wheat, broken rice, rotten potatoes, and unfit for the human consumption for ethanol production. So many sources like that. Sugarcane, very clear. Sugarcane का तो हमको मालूम ही है, गन्ने की
ये
खेती में
इथेनॉल मिल जाएगा।
एथेनॉल मिल जाएगा. सो नाउ द शुगर केन बेस्ड इंडस्ट्री, शुगर केन की जो शुगर मिल्स हैं, अब से कुछ साल पहले तक शुगर मिल्स का जो फाइनेंस मतलब प्रॉफिट था इतना नहीं होता था, लेकिन जब से ये पॉलिसी आई है लाइक दैट, शुगर कैन इंडस्ट्रीज का जो प्रोडक्शन है, they can sell directly to the company. Of course there is the norms, government having the controls over it. So through the policy, through the rules and regulation, through the rate fixation, it's not like that they can negotiate with their rates like this. No. So there is a fixed rate for that purpose. So you have to be, so like that here, uh, ethanol rate. That ethanol rate is basically the ethanol rate is, recently I had checked on the press release of government of India, ethanol as an alternate fuel. Okay, and government has been promoting use of ethanol as a blended stock with main automotive fuel like the petrol, in line with national policy on biofuel NBP 2018 under the ethanol blended petrol program EBP program. This policy envisages the indicative target of blending 20% ethanol in petrol by 2030. So you see, means we are importing mostly 75 to 80% oil demand from that abroad based country, means Gulf country basically, or other countries where we can have that kind of source. So if just imagine that 20% we are managing with the help of that kind of ethanol, so we will not need to have that much percentage. So overall that is such kind of money which is actually spending to get the gasoline from the abroad will consume within the project going on in the country, from the ministries, from government of India. Many schools, many hospitals, many roads can be developed with the same money. And second thing is that by doing this, because this is the non-conventional energy source, biomass, and then through the conversion process we are converting into the product which can be mixed into the, which can be blended to the petrol. So overall we are contributing to the environment as well as we are saving our country money, which can use in the country to develop many projects, can be used for the hospitals, can be used for the schools, universities, can be used for the development of the many towns, like that. Okay, so government has since allowed production of ethanol from sugarcane. Sugarcane is the main source and food grain based raw material. Development of food and public distribution has informed that cost of the production of ethanol varies from distillery to distillery and depend upon various factors like that, cost of raw material, cost of raw material, and conversion cost, efficiency of the distillery plants. Further, keeping in the view of our factor, the government has fixed the ex-mill price of the ethanol from sugarcane-based raw material, and oil marketing companies have fixed the price of ethanol from damaged and surplus rice with FCI for ethanol supply year period. This is 2020-2021. Okay, so that is one category. Heavy molasses, that rate is 45.69 rupees per liter. This is C grade. That B grade is means 57.61. From the sugar cane or sugar syrup, that is 62.65. Damaged food grain of Maggi, 51.55. Surplus rice with FCI rice, 56.87. Okay, so these are the basically information, and then government fixing the target year by year. However, means we have to get such kind of production. Okay, so once the production is there, and then we can use it. And government is planning to expand the production. And again, the same thing. This is also related to the awareness. Means many farmers, particularly in the sugarcane belt, they don't know about it. And few years before, I had seen in my hometown, and many farmers, they burn their crop, sugarcane basically, गन्ने की खेती. They burned their field, and I was also there. I was going somewhere through the way, and just I saw that आग लग गया है, बहुत crowd है. तो I asked what happened. Then they said किसी ने अपना खेत जला दिया है, क्योंकि उसको next season का crop करना है वहाँ पे, and that person was not having any option. क्योंकि शुगर केन को निकालना है खेत से, तो आपको लेबर की रिक्वायरमेंट होगी, and labor was not available, and sugar mills already overburdened. So sugar mill capacity was not allowing the farmers to feed more and more sugar cane, and sugar mills are having a zone, means that sugar mill will take the next sugar mill. So that production was very high. Even the capacity of the sugar mills were not that much high as compared to the production of the sugar cane. So that's why it means that there was no option. So many farmers burned their crop. But after that, when such kind of policy came, and they also aware about it, so that is a very fruitful business to produce such kind of source which can convert into the ethanol with the help of processing, and then this is the hot cake right now. So like that, just one example, 1 crore liter of ethanol save around 20,000 ton of CO2 emissions. So then you can just think, means it's very much playing a very much important role in the environment. You will not use that much percentage gasoline which will burn in the engine, and then lot of smoke, COX, SOX will go out. So then you will save to the environment. And with the help of that, you can save lot of for you can save, and like the case of the 2017-18, that the ethanol supply year 2017-18 is likely to is around 150 crore liter of the ethanol, and which was approximately saving on the 4,000 crore rupees of the forex. Cleaning the environment, just now I told you about that. And health benefits, prolonged use of cooking oil to prepare food, particularly in deep frying, protein health hazards can be lead to many diseases. Using cooking oil for the feed of biodiesel. Used cooking oil is a potential feedstock for the biodiesel. Okay, and municipal solid waste management is also there. So overall means it's a playing the very beautiful role in the environment as well as supporting to our energy demand. And now the many uh, refineries, small scale refineries are also developed in the many belts, many areas. So those are basically getting such kind of sources and converted into the ethanol. Like that one recently I had seen one place. Just a minute. One that is Dwarike Sugar, and that is 100 kiloliter per day distillery in uh, Bijnor district of the Uttar Pradesh, and the cost of the project was 145 crore rupees. Okay, so 100 kiloliter per day ethanol production by that means industry. So many governments are dealing in it, and slowly the level is improving. So every year we are moving ahead and to get the target, and I hope very soon we will get the target, and we will be means we will produce more than the target. So still that is under that awareness program issue challenges, and many of farming belt they don't know exactly what is the processing, what is the process, how to do that. So this is also a big issue in this area. So however, with the help of that, that is the additional income to the farmers. So their agriculture residue or waste material can be used for this purpose. Otherwise, they are burning directly to the means, just burn it, and then you see lot of problems we had seen due to such kind of activities. So overall, it's a this knowledge-based program. So if you know, you can go ahead. And government launched that national policy on biofuel by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy during 2009 basically. Okay, तो 2009 से हम लोग मिनिस्ट्री इस पे काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन still means need more attention on it. And every year means we are having the rate fixation of the alternate fuel like the ethanol, कि उसका rate क्या है government का. So according to that, they are getting the money, and that's it. Okay, so next week next week, Nikhil,
यस सर।
नेक्स्ट वीक में हम लोग बायोफ्यूल्स को कंटिन्यू करेंगे और नेक्स्ट वीक में कितने 4 लेक्चर होंगे ना, है
यस
ना?
सर।
तो एक में तो मैं जो 12th वाला है इसमें मैं समराइज कराऊंगा जो अब तक कराया है, अप टू 9 10th 11 तक, है ना? 8
यस
9
सर।
11 तक। तो उसको समराइज कर लेंगे, ठीक है ना? और उसको समराइज करने के बाद 12th को ही क्विज है हमारा, उसके बाद में फिर तुम लोगों के एग्जाम आ जाएंगे, है ना?
यस सर।
18 19 में। तो 12th के बाद फिर नया टॉपिक स्टार्ट करेंगे। अभी बायोफ्यूल्स के 2 लेक्चर बच रहे हैं, है ना? तो वो और कवर्ड हो जाएंगे तो बायोमास का सेक्शन पूरा कंप्लीट हो जाएगा। देन वी विल मूव टू द विंड एनर्जी एंड अदर जियोथर्मल एंड देन सोलर। ओके, ऐसा करके
यस सर।
जाएंगे, ठीक है ना? हाँ हाँ, ओके, ठीक है।
ओके।
तो यू मे लीव, है? गेट का पेपर कब है?
गेट का पेपर तो संडे को है।
ओके, बेस्ट ऑफ लक, है?
थैंक यू सर।